Welcome back to another episode of Building Cybersafe Communities. We are in the middle of the month of October, Cybersecurity Awareness Month. It's been a year since we started this podcast. It's hard to believe it's been a year already. We started last year during Cybersecurity Awareness Month. A lot has happened since then. We're changing up the format a little bit today again, and we've got a special guest. Her name is Natalie Sjelin. She's the director of the Center for Infrastructure Assurance and Security at the University of Texas, San Antonio. Natalie has spent over 20 years helping communities across the country build strong, sustainable cybersecurity programs. She's led hands-on cybersecurity exercises, developed training for both technical and non-technical audiences, and supported information sharing efforts that help municipalities stay resilient. Natalie has co-authored several white papers and books on various cybersecurity topics, focused on assisting communities to strengthen their cyber posture. She also teaches network security at the University of Texas, San Antonio, and regularly speaks at conferences. So Natalie is perfectly aligned with what we are trying to accomplish here. And I'm just going to say she has a title and an organization that might be longer than mine. So her business card is probably this big, but we are so excited to have her here today. Thank you for taking time out, because we know you're super busy, to join us and share your information with our listeners. Thanks again.
Oh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's always fun to engage with everybody out there and talk about the things that are important to us.
Right. And Natalie, as you know, we have many members that the risk pool represents in our cyber fund. And I think this is where, having guests like you come on board and bringing in resident experts that can tell us what's going on in the space is really important for our members, to make them more aware that there's a community of practice out there. So kind of to that end, can you kind of tell us what the mission and role of CIAS is and what you guys do for communities in Texas and beyond?
Sure. So the CIAS was established in 2001. So we've actually been around for over 23 years, if you can believe it. Initially, our mission was to ignite multidisciplinary cybersecurity research at UTSA. And what that meant was that we were working with faculty in electrical engineering, computer science, the College of Business. We even worked with folks at St. Mary's Law. I mean, we were really trying to get everybody spun up about cybersecurity. But since then, we have really focused on advancing cybersecurity and infrastructure resilience for communities and for organizations. And we do this through a whole bunch of different initiatives or programs that we have. Things like, we do training, and it's developed for technical and non-technical audiences, because we really believe that everybody has a role in cybersecurity. We do competitions at the high school level, the collegiate level, and we have even professional levels just to hone those cybersecurity skills. And then we do simulations and exercises. We build awareness and readiness, kind of strengthen collaboration. We identify gaps in our cybersecurity programs. And then we also do information sharing initiatives. And these are really meant to reduce the cyber risk and promote situational awareness across communities. And then the last area that we really focus on is research and educational outreach programs. And here we find innovative approaches to grow the cybersecurity pipeline, starting with like K-12, and we expand it all into the workforce. So our programs have really been, we've done these nationally and internationally. I think that we have touched almost every single state, and we're in over 28 countries now. So it's a little bit about us.
Oh, Natalie, that's quite a sphere of influence. I know firsthand that you work with municipalities and local organizations in Texas. I've seen you in action, but what are some of the most pressing cyber challenges you see those organizations facing today?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've seen a lot of really pressing cyber issues facing municipalities and organizations. I mean, there are lots of things like, just the lack of really understanding how cybersecurity incidents can impact a community. I think we get cybersecurity, but we don't really understand those impacts. And we've got compliance issues and pressures and all kinds of things like that. We don't have a lot of our, basic things in place like cybersecurity policies and incident response plans, things like that. But honestly, to tell you the truth, I think the biggest challenges that really stand out in the work that we do, the big issues are, I would say, number one, the attacks are really becoming much more sophisticated. I mean, let's face it, with AI, it's getting really hard to spot things like phishing emails, and technology it's just expanding the attack surface. We now have to have, we have all kinds of devices that are connected to the internet, things in our homes like TVs, gaming consoles, shoot, Alexa, Google, those kinds of devices, they're all connected to the internet. And then in our communities, we've got things like traffic lights, water systems, street cameras, public transportation, all of these devices, they're connected to the internet, and there's so much more out there. So our landscape is really getting more sophisticated, and it's getting a lot harder for us to get ahead of those cybersecurity issues. I would say that that's one of the big ones. And the second one that I would really speak to is that we have to deal with all this stuff with limited resources. We just don't have infinite budgets, right? We don't have all the cybersecurity people, cybersecurity power that we really want or need. So we have to find ways that address cybersecurity challenges on a budget, and that's a major challenge. But I would say those are the two big ones that I really see.
I really appreciate the fact that you mentioned the budget, because a lot of times when we go from academia or we go from, case studies to try to put it into real world scenarios, people don't realize that, there's limited staff, there's limited cycles in a week. These people are, sometimes these are secondary duties that are assigned. And sometimes the long budget planning cycle of government won't allow you to just go out and buy something that you've discovered you need. And so I like what you said at the beginning, though, is helping organizations, focus on resilience as a result of that, right? Our attack surface is expanding, as you said, but we've also got to be able to bounce back and deliver services. So how is it that your organization can help leaders go from just checking the box to building some resilience in their organization?
And so this is an excellent question. And what I think it really speaks to the heart of what the CIAS is all about. We believe that cybersecurity is a shared responsibility. It's a strategic priority. It's not a checklist. I mean, you can't go to Walmart and just grab a box and go, okay, this is going to serve all of my cybersecurity needs, right? So compliance is really that starting point. It's absolutely not that finish line. So this is why we really focus on developing innovative ways to engage both our technical and our non-technical audiences. We try to demystify, if you will, cybersecurity, and we create tangible action items that everybody can implement. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So one example is we design and facilitate realistic cybersecurity exercises. And these exercises, they'll simulate threats that communities and organizations face. We always encourage, both the leadership and their technical staff to work together on these scenarios. We have to work together to really understand what the real risks are and what each person's role is in true preparedness. We just can't assume anymore. We can't assume that it's somebody else's responsibility. We have to know exactly what we're going to do, and we have to know exactly how we're going to do it. Another program that we offer is designed to help communities and organizations identify, prioritize, and assess their high value assets. And what I mean by that is these are the most important assets that you have. These are the things that your business needs just to keep going, right? It's the information that you critically need to accomplish your mission. And it's the information systems that you use in your day-to-day tasks. So when you have limited resources, you need to know what you're going to put on those critical assets. Like, I only have so much. So which assets am I going to protect? And I've got to figure that out. I've got to be able to prioritize that. And so what this does is it helps you to understand what you should protect or modernize first, right? And then apply those resources on down that prioritized list, all the way down to that, well, it might be nice to have, right? And another example is we offer training, but not, when you think cybersecurity, you're thinking all of the technical folks, right? We offer training that's tailored to executives, to IT staff, emergency managers, general employees. Everybody, because everybody has a role. And this ensures that everybody from City Hall to Public Works knows exactly how to respond to a cyber threat.
That's really exciting, because I think that's an underserved part of the community. You spoke earlier about workforce development. What kind of initiatives do you guys have at UTSA and CIAS that are building that next generation of cyber professionals?
Oh my gosh. So we have tons of programs.
Sorry.
I'll try to just pick a few. But we've got several exciting initiatives that we're working on right now. We have our K-12 Journey program, and what they do is they gamify cybersecurity. And we have things, we've developed card games for K-2, second grade. We've got card games for third grade to fifth grade, and then we've got card games for sixth grade and beyond. And so they're all age appropriate, and they introduce them to all kinds of ideas, terminology and cybersecurity careers, all of that kind of stuff. So these games, they get students interested in cybersecurity at a really early age, to help them understand basic cybersecurity principles, and hopefully to get them really excited about cybersecurity as a career, right? And then we have a second program that I'd like to talk about is we started the CIAS Community Cybersecurity Clinic. We call it C4. This program provides no and low cost cybersecurity services to small and mid-sized organizations, but that includes municipalities, nonprofits, local agencies, all of those. And what we do is the students are actually delivering all of the services. And what that does is it gives the students the ability to have real world experiences, but they're still helping the community with, all of their cybersecurity needs, where they might not have been able to get that in the past. And so the students are mentored by CIS professionals, and we're even trying to work towards, getting some outside mentors to help as well. But it's a growing program, and I'm super excited about it. So
yeah, I bet our members would be excited about that as well. We all need help.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That sounds like a win-win to me.
I love that program tackles two of the biggest things that we see as issues going forward. One is resources available for our members, especially our smaller and mid-sized members, but also addressing what we all see on the future is a deficiency in the workforce, right? Skilled workers, and you're training those up. I think that's a great approach.
It has been phenomenal. And we've been working most recently with the Texas housing authorities. And we have done a ton of stuff with them, and it's been super exciting and really opened the eyes of our students. They have done things like created policies, cybersecurity policies for them. And then because the policies were so great, they actually asked us to come back and turn it into training for their employees. And so we did that. And then that extended out into, hey, can you come to our Texas Housing Authority conference and deliver presentations? And so we've done those too. In fact, we've got one next week in the Northeast. And so, yeah, it's been super, super exciting. This program has been something else.
It's great.
Natalie, that's why we're so excited to have you on the podcast, and also so excited to have a relationship with you. Yeah. At the end of the podcast, we may ask you to give us some information on how some of our members might be able to learn a little bit more about those services if they want to tap into some of the great things you guys have going on down there. Our members get to
Absolutely.
hear from Ryan and I all the time. One of the benefits of having a guest is it's a unique perspective in the room. So I want to ask you this last question. What would be the one piece of advice you would give our members, our cybersecurity members, their leadership? What would be the one advice you would give them on strengthening their cybersecurity posture?
You know, technology is woven into everything that we do. It's in our mobile devices, city operations, public safety, I mean, even in our entertainment. So cyber threats are not just an IT problem. They're a community-wide challenge. And so I guess my advice would be, you know, be proactive, learn what you need to do to be a part of the solution. Help build awareness in your organizations, invest in training, engage in exercises that prepare your teams. Because I think resilience really starts with our leadership.
Yeah. Wow.
No, concur.
That's a great way to end this podcast, because those are the types of things that Mike and I see every day. We talk to folks about this, and it's not just an IT issue, it's an organizational risk strategy. I mean, it's right there in the name of our podcast, Building Cybersafe Communities, because it takes all of us. So that's a great perspective. So we really appreciate, I know you're busy, we really appreciate you taking time out today to share your wealth of knowledge and the services that your organization offers that our members might be able to take advantage of. So we'll be sure and share that in the notes down below, and post the email address where they can reach out to engage with you and your students to explore more about these services. So thanks again for joining us. We sure do appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll probably have you back at another time too, because you've got so much to talk about. It's hard to cram it in this short amount of time, but we sure do appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us on the podcast today, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.